So what's going on, everybody? My name is Jonathan and welcome to Secret Sauce. Today I'm sitting here with Jenylin Martinez. She is a rockstar real estate agent from Compass here in Miami. Jenny, thank you for having me here in your home, giving me some tea. So thank you very much for for accepting this invitation for this crazy project. Definitely. And I'm super excited to have you here in this project. So I want to give you like a quick rundown of why this project. So it's called Secret Sauce because I see you and I see like some type of success, and there's a lot of people that maybe don't have or haven't reached the success that you have reached, and I really want to hear, number one, your story, and then at the end, hopefully some takeaways that people can apply at home in terms of real estate and how to find success in this competitive market here in Miami. So why the change, from paralegal during the years, how long were you a paralegal?
Oh my God, I was a paralegal since I was in high school. So for like 15 years, even throughout my college, I was doing part-time paralegal work. So the reason I got into real estate was actually I was in the process of buying a house and I went through like 3 realtors and I'm like, man, this is not that difficult and they can't get it right. Contracts are my jam because obviously I had the legal background. So it just always, it fit. It really did. And it was funny because I think like the universe always gives you signs. So I would always talk about the market. I was very intrigued about the market. I come from a real estate background. My stepfather's a broker. So real estate's always been in my realm. And since I was like 15 and I started working, I've always asked like, hey, how much money do I need to save to buy a house? It's always been my interest. Back to like the universe giving you signs, I always had people asking me if I was a realtor and I would roll my eyes. I'm like, ew, no way. And here I am. So that's how I got into real estate. I was buying my house. I saw that there was a need for professionals and professionals that understood, the legal backgrounds into getting into contract and what to look for and yada, yada. I don't think there's a secret sauce when it comes to real estate. I just think it takes grit, passion, and always pushing forward because this is a business with a lot of slumps. Like one day you're high, one day you're low, and your mindset is very important.
Okay, cool. So tell me, how did you started in terms of how were those first year in real estate? Like you got your license
the first
and then
year,
first deal.
Oh my God, the first year, I usually tell agents when they start, I'm like, you have to pay your dues now to the real estate god, right? The first year, you have to learn to earn. So you're really like digging deep and learning about the market. You're running around with clients who are probably not even worth running around, but how else are you going to learn the market? Sorry, that's my dog fighting with the dog in the background.
In the background.
Okay, Charlie.
And we have puppies.
Okay. Do you cut this out or no?
Maybe.
Okay. So you're usually running around with clients that, are qualified, but not maybe the best qualified clients, but that's how you learn the market and you can talk to your clients about them. Blah, 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 blah. Let me start over.
Go ahead. I'm not going to cut it.
No, you have to cut it.
Go for it.
Okay, so usually you're driving around with clients and, working with clients that are qualified, but not the best clients ever. You're working with not the bottom of the barrel because I don't believe in that, but just low income. You're really out there struggling to find them like the place, and there's multiple offers in that price range. So you're really working it, but that's how you learn the ropes, right? And then eventually you work your way up, and that's how you establish like knowledge in certain areas in the market. Okay,
cool. If it's okay, I want to go into because this is a competitive market. There's almost 50,000 here in South Florida. And then my question is, how have you been able to achieve things that not a lot of agents have been able to accomplish, even though they might have 15 years over you in experience?
So truthfully, I don't really think any of the agents out there are my competition. I always tell my clients, the other agents out there are we need to cooperate with each other because we're working with the buyers or the sellers. So we need to be teammates, not going against each other. My competition are other listings that are on the market that are competing against my client's listing. That's my competition. So how do I stand myself out from the other 50,000 agents? Well, truthfully, only 20% of them do all the business. And I would say out of those 20%, some of them had been in the business for so long, so they get that repetitive business and they're out of touch. Some of them are out of touch with the market as to what helps move houses now. Like, you have to dive into technology. A lot of them are reluctant to dive into technology. Just the simple stuff using photographers, videography, how to get it out there, how to create the buzz. They're out of touch with that.
I know you mentioned like technology and all this stuff, but what else does it mean to have like the touch or like
It's being authentic
touch?
with your clients. Your clients could smell it miles away if you don't know what you're talking about, if you're bullshitting your way through it, if you're unsure. That's why I said like the first year of real estate is the most important because you're learning to earn.
Learning to earn. Okay. Can you explain to me a little bit more on that?
You have to learn in order to earn, right? So the first year you have to learn your contracts, you have to learn the ropes, you have to learn the market. Sorry. It's all of that.
Okay. Tell me, how do you, keep in training and touch and like, because, sometimes it's a, I want to say it's like an entrepreneurship business. It is, you have your product, but then you have to organize yourself and putting out there and sell it. And like, how do you, don't get lost in like the day-to-day kind of like transaction or like activities, and how do you are able to keep in touch and then like also like train yourself and like keep growing in that aspect?
So with training per se, like education wise, I always say, and again it goes back to learning to earn. I don't want to sound like Biggie Smalls here, but the streets are my school. Like when I'm out there, it's how you learn and you get yourself into situations. I mean, for example, like you go to, you don't learn about probate when you go to Gold Coast to learn about real estate, right? That happens to you when unfortunately somebody dies on you or the title is not done correctly, and then all of a sudden you see yourself in a bind and you're like, hey, now we're in probate. That's how you learn the ropes, right?
So probate is what? People don't know.
So probate is basically when the original property owner has passed away and now it has to go to one of the family members. So the court has to decide if there wasn't a trust or a will done. It automatically, the state of Florida will decide for you.
Okay, cool. So cool. So you're kind of like in your first year, you learn all of those like technical terms.
I'm always learning. It doesn't only happen in the first year. You keep learning throughout your career. You're never going to be a teacher. You're always going to be a student.
Okay. So how do you deal, in terms of and I want to touch a little bit in the personal, like with keeping yourself motivated to move forward every single day. Sometimes because it's I know it's hard, but every transaction might mean like it's a good, I don't want to say like chunk, but it's it might be worth it, and the more transaction that you have, the more, the better. But transactions take time. They take maybe a month or something like that. How do you keep encouraged to follow up and day to day with that motivation?
Well, Wells Fargo sends me a letter every month to remind me to pay my mortgage. That's one way I get motivated. But I know that the time frame to do a closing, it's usually from the time you get with the client to the time you close, is a 90-day cycle. So I know that if this 90 days I don't work my butt off, the next 90 days it's going to reflect in my bank account. Okay. So that's how I stay motivated.
So you take it by quarter, basically?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is there anything you do besides, having the financial pressure?
To stay motivated, I do a lot of Tom Ferry. I watch other real estate agents that like totally motivate me when I see what they're doing. Because, we all have different styles. That always sparks a little plug in me. It sparks a little fire in me, not a plug. What else? Truly, it's all me. I love what I do. So I'm always motivated.
Okay. And tell me, because you're also a leader in the community. You do your
my ladies' ledger.
Yes. So tell me, is being part of the community influencing your business?
So truthfully, when I started Ladies Ledger, which is a mastermind group just for women, and we're definitely we meet once a week. That's wrong. So awesome. Ladies Ledger is a group of women that we started. We are a mastermind group. We have a topic of discussion and we meet once a month. I started the group not to really network or bring in business. Obviously, like once you have trust with someone, you're always going to do business with them because they know you and they trust you and they're going to refer you out, right? Just because I'm part of a group doesn't mean that I'm going to, give you my business. It doesn't work like that. So I started Ladies Ledger really because I wanted to meet with other women that are in different fields and mastermind with them. And we talk about different topics, whether it's personal or business, and get different perspectives.
Okay. How important is it to have a support group? For, if you can call it like support group, it's like a mastermind you said, but
right.
It's like I saw last time, and it's like a bunch of entrepreneurs. So how important is that, like, to have like a group to like
help push you?
If you want
so
to.
I don't think they push you. It's just kind of like positive reinforcement. Like, hey, listen, I was once in your shoes. You're doing the right thing. We see you. They give you props. Like, hey, I saw your videos. That's always very reassuring. So there's an audience out there that like sees you.
One of the reasons that I like your work and what you do, is number one, it's, I don't know if it's maybe like you being you're killing. Like, sometimes I know that you're in it, and maybe you might say like, it's a cool and whatever, like, but it's like, what are you doing? It's awesome. And then I say to people like, oh, I know this person, she's killing it. She's been featured in even if it was mentioned in multiple articles like nationwide and stuff like that.
So I really don't think I'm killing it. Because obviously I look up to other realtors that have been in the business longer than I have, and they dominate the market, right? So that is my ambitions, to dominate a market and be able to train other agents around me to do the same thing, to give that professional service to home buyers, right, and to buyers and sellers, because I do think that it's so easy to get into real estate. I mean, you take a course, if you know how to read and you can memorize stuff, you can pass a state exam, but like, and I'll never forget, like, so in the legal field, sorry, I shouldn't be touching my face, but in the legal field, like, I was surrounded by professionals. And then when I started real estate, I thought it was the same jam. I'm like, hey, everybody here is in it to win it. They're professionals. And I'll never forget when I was going to submit an offer, and the listing agent's email was her name, the hairstylist at gmail.com. And I'm like, what is this monkey business? Like, absolutely not. I would be so embarrassed. And then you look at the pictures. She took it with her phone. There was no love behind it. There was no energy. There was no, like, I am going to get my client top dollar. There was none of that. It was just her, got a listing, dale, put it on the market, move forward. It's kind of like those, like, take your vitamins, say your prayers. And I take my vitamins, say my prayers, but I also put the effort.
Okay. When you said, you said something that you want to train others to do the same?
Absolutely.
In what sense?
In the sense of doing it, like, not doing real estate right. There's no, like, one way of doing it right, but doing it professionally, like putting your client's best foot forward. And a lot of brokerage don't train their agents to do that. Clearly, because if you have an agent, right, you're in a broker, and you have an agent who's, you see that the listing is mediocre, I'm sorry, but you have to pull them aside and be like, this is not what we do, because it's a direct reflection of your brokerage firm.
What have you done in terms of, like, reaching, because now you want to help others, right?
Right.
You've reached a level, and then it looks like you're not competing. You're competing basically against yourself and the big dogs and the people that are dominating.
So I'm competing against Jenny from 2019, right? I'm not competing with anybody else. I have my own way of doing things. So the girl that was from last year, that's who I'm competing against. So I do have a board where I keep my numbers from when I started real estate till this year. And I have to make sure that every year I'm doing better than I was last year. And I do it quarterly, right? Because then I have to see, like, whatever got me here is not going to get me there, right? So what do I need to change different? What do I need to add? Do I need to add a different pipeline? Do I need to change up my marketing? And that's what I meant by some of these seasoned agents that have been in the business for so long. Some of them are out of touch with the market.
Okay.
They don't keep up with it. They think, oh, the costs come in. But let me tell you, then there's a hungry agent like me out there, and we're going to eat your lunch. It's that simple.
Jenny's going to take your lunch. That's funny. Tell me about the board and how does it help you, keeping track?
Oh, right, because if you don't know your numbers and you don't know your business, right, it's that simple.
What do you do in that board?
So I'll never forget when I started real estate, I was part of Real Estate Salesforce, my favorite brokerage, actually, because that's where I started and that's where I became the realtor that I am today, thanks to George Guerra. And so he did something very smart. So he did like a lunch recognition for like the top agents. And oh my God, when I saw that he was taking them out to eat, I love eating. And like he put like this like really cool thing, like the top agents. That was like a huge drive for me. And I'm like, I'm gonna be in that next top agent. That I want to be a top agent, and I want to be in that luncheon. So for me, I realized, okay, to do that, you have to make $100,000. That was the requirement back then, right? What do I need to make to do $100,000? Okay, how many transactions do I do? I need to, and what is the average sale of my transaction? So let's say the commission is 10,000. Okay, so I'm gonna need to do 10 transactions to make 100,000, and that's how I started tracking it. And then I realized, when you see the numbers, you're like, okay, I need to make 30,000 more in order to get to this top agent. It's a driving force. So that's why I think you need to have your goals written out in front of you and present, so then you can always remember to reflect on it to see how far are you from it.
Nice.
Or close.
So basically, seeing it, you're basically looking at it. Kind of, it's even more of a motivator to
Correct.
see it and then like divide and like do the math and like, okay, I need more like to reach it. And
you have to know your numbers, right? You have to know like your sales volume and then what your average commission is. And then just start, reverse engineer that. Like, this is what I need to make. If I want to make 100,000, I need to have 10 transactions. And you can be like, okay, I'll do 3 sales and 7 buyers, right? It's going to fluctuate. And maybe you're going to do a couple leases. So I just do it, like I break it down into into sections.
How many times were you a top agent?
When I started RESF, when I started real estate,
3 years.
My first year, obviously not.
Of
That's
course.
the year you're paying your dues to the real estate god. But after that, I made it a top agent every year.
How many years? 2, 3?
I think I was 5 years with him, so 4.
Boom.
4, yeah.
Damn. There's, you see, this is one of the things that I love. It's like not only you're tracking and then because it sounds like you have a system.
Yeah, I do have a system.
And it sounds like you are motivated and you. One of the things that I like is that you're basically doing it alone. Like you don't have a team. You don't have
I'm not alone. I do have a team, Jonathan. I have
at the brokerage, but there's not like.
I have my lender. I have my title people.
Okay.
I have my closing coordinator. I have a team in that sense. Do I have other agents under me? I'm working on that. I'm working on starting, getting a buyer's agent and then working my way around there. But I want to make sure that whatever I offer that agent is worth their while to come to join me. I just don't want to start recruiting to recruit. Mm-hmm. I don't want to waste my time or my energy, training people that are not serious about doing real estate the professional way.
Boom, the professional way. I love it. So I love it because, not only system, now I love it because you've done it so far. This is like you and your machine and your thing and your accountability and that's it. Now you're looking to in the business. How many years? 5?
Oh no, 6.
6 years. Now you're looking to multiply and like train and like grow and like hire and stuff like that. I love it because a lot of people, why do you want to keep growing?
Why do I want to keep going?
Growing. Yes.
It's only natural. You want to keep growing. You can't, you have to spread your wings. You can't get stuck. I refuse to be stagnant, right? And just be like, whatever, this is it, what it is. That's not my character, I guess.
Okay, so it's a character.
You always want more as a human, right?
Not necessarily. There's a lot of people that might be comfortable with, hitting 6 digits and being comfortable.
Okay.
Like, I hit it, yeah.
You know what? All you need to do is make 60,000 and you can be surfing every day or going to the beach and tanning and that's your jam. That's what makes you happy. Then I'm all for it. I truly am. I'm all for it. But I have big goals.
What are those goals?
So I can't do the 60,000.
What are those goals?
Tanning. I want to do a lot of investment properties, but in the sense of like Airbnb. Mm-hmm. I would also like to go in because we do have a program with Compass. It's called Compass Concierge. I would like to do more of that. We're coming into properties where they haven't been able to sell because obviously, the other agent didn't take the time to educate them on what moves your property the fastest for the most money and come in and kind of do that, but more like hands-on.
What's the big picture for you?
The big picture for me?
Mm-hmm.
So if my 5-year goal, I would say from 2020, it would be to have multiple properties that I own as Airbnb. I have them picked out names and everything, the style and where I want them. To have a team under me, and I want to make sure that everyone on my team makes over $100,000. That's the other thing. When I bring someone on board, they have to make over $100,000. I would make sure they make $100,000 if they're committed.
Boom. How many people and how are you going to What's your plan on that? Because it sounds like you have a plan.
I
behind
do.
it.
I do. For right now, I have one plan, which
Okay.
is my plan for this year is to bring one person on board, work with them, see how my strategy that I have worked out works. And if it works, then I could bring on other people.
Awesome. I love it. Oh, love it. What would it be? What would you say to Jenny now, 6 years later in the career, and and Jenny is starting real estate?
Oh my God, you go, girl. So I read this. So I love reading, and I remember when I started real estate, I read this book. It's called The Soulful Realtor, right? And she just said like, hey, you have to have like checklists for things, which was like totally in my realm. I love organization, having checklists. And one of the most important things that I read in that book, because it made sense, because afterwards, you know, you go to all these seminars and you have these top agents, was that sometimes you have to give a little to get something in return, right? And a lot of these top agents, what they tell other agents, like, I never budge and I never give a little bit of my commission to make a deal happen. And I'm like, you know, that's bad business, because sometimes you have to help your client out by 500, 1,000, whatever it is to make the deal happen. You know, I'd rather make 12,000 than make 0,000, right? So that's one of the things that I took from that book, the whole thing with doing checklists. So I think that's what I would thank myself for, just being like really diving in, like, you know, getting into Tom Ferry. I got into Tom Ferry right when I started, and just reading about business. It's very important, not only about real estate, but other ways of doing business.
What can you tell me? Because I love, if I start talking about business and marketing and all that stuff, I
Right.
won't stop. And what have you implemented, like business wise, like, because it's real estate and you know, for me, real estate is like business. It's like a traditional business where you implement a bunch of strategies behind it, but people see like, oh, real estate is 100% different.
Uh-huh.
What have you implemented business wise that is like, oh, this is cool, or like from traditional business, or like have you learned and read?
What have I learned and read? Well, actually, this book that you recommended was it was an eye opener, because I started doing a lot of value videos. I started back in last year, right? We worked together, and something very important about the book that they said that, you know, you're not the hero of the story, it's your client, and you have to remember that. And people get bored when you're in front of a camera or you're promoting yourself. You're like, I did this, I am this, I'm doing this, da-da-da, me, and they don't want to hear that. It's like, this is what I could do for you, this is how you're gonna kill it, this is how you're gonna make more money, and you have to make it about your client. And that for me was like, yes, that's exactly what I've done. This is why my videos work, and this is why my strategy works. It's never been about me.
Nice.
I meet with clients and I'm like, okay, tell me about yourself. I want to know everything about you, about your family, what you're looking for. And then if they're interested in about me, I divulge, obviously.
Love it. Awesome. So what, you know, it sounds like you're going to start your team and everything. I love that you have a goal to help them reach 100 per year for them, which is like awesome, because, and I love that mentality, because it's like usually it's backwards. It's usually like, oh, I'm a broker, or I'm this and I want to take this.
Right.
Or if
of
I
course,
have
it's
somebody,
a take mentality.
correct. Like, oh, if I have like 10 people and I get 1,000 from them, so I'll make this amount, and I'm like, ha ha ha.
You can't climb a ladder by pushing other people down, right? You have to help others up as well.
Love it. Love that mentality. So besides that, let's say I'm a new agent or a seasoned agent that I want to join you, and I see your stuff and I'm like, oh, I want to be like Jenny when I grow up. How can how can you convince me, or what do you have to offer besides, you know,
Listen, I don't have to convince you. It's you know, working with, it's a partnership, right? It's like a boyfriend and girlfriend. It's no different than that. You know, you have to vibe with each other. You have to be able to see eye and eye and have the same goal in mind. I'm not here to convince anybody.
Boom.
I sit down, I tell you what I want, my vision. If you're in, great. If you're not, that's fine. I hope you find whatever it is that you're looking for.
Nice. And then what would it be? And this is kind of like falling into the concept. What would it be is your secret sauce behind your success, if any?
I just think being authentic is my secret sauce. That's it.
Okay. Explain.
So I am not the agent that's going to let you buy a property where I think that the resale value is not there. I will beg you. Most agents, you know, unfortunately, since like you said, there's 50,000 realtors out there, some of them are doing this part-time and they really need that commission, right? So they don't care. They'll just be like, oh, whatever, I'll submit an offer, and I won't. Like, I will literally tell you why it's a bad idea.
Nice. So being authentic for you, it's basically saying things even though it might hurt the bottom line.
It might, yeah. Me, even if I don't make the sale, even if my client decides, hey, listen, this is not maybe not the market for me right now, but I am honest, straightforward, because I honestly believe like what you put out there is what you get in return. And I would want, if I would go to the doctor or if I would seek another professional's help, an attorney, that they would have the same, the same energy towards me, right? They'll be like, hey, listen, this is what you should do. This will be in your best benefit. Not think like, hey, let me just take her money.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm excited. Okay, Jenny, so thank you. I want to say thank you very much for
Of course,
being
definitely.
part of this crazy project. And is there something you want to say to the people watching this?
No, just keep hustling.
That's it?
That's it.
Awesome. So there you have it, guys. This has been Jenny Martinez with Secret Sauce, and I'm excited, and I'll see you guys the next time.